highly anticipated auction of high-demand radio frequency spectrum continued today, with the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa confident of a successful auction. The auction is South Africa's first in more than a decade, in which the telecoms industry in particular has expressed the need for the government to release more spectrum to aid economic growth. Joining me now is ICASA chairperson, Dr Keabetswe Modimoeng. Thank you very much, Dr. Modimoeng, for joining us. It's a historic week which started on Tuesday with the opt-in phase of the auction process, raising more than 2.6 billion rands after Telkom and Rail Networks were the first two telecoms companies that submitted winning bids. This is a huge milestone, not only for ICASA, but for the sector as a whole, including consumers.
Thank you, and greetings to the viewers. Indeed, this is a historic moment in our country, the first time ever that we conduct a spectrum auction on South African soil. It has been a long time coming, and so far so good indeed. On Tuesday, in the opt-in round of the auction, we were able to raise just over 2.6 billion rands, and that was the proceeds from Rain as well as Telkom, who were participating in the opt-in round. Today, the auction continued with all the 6 bidders actively participating, and we really hope and have a very strong belief that we should be able to meet our desired, aspirations with the auction. Everyone is participating, and consumers will definitely begin to see the good spin-offs, the fruits from this process that we have long been preaching. And those benefits include, faster internet speeds, clearer voice call quality. The overall user experience will improve. But we have furthermore also introduced social obligations as part of these spectrum licenses. And I mean, those include issues such as connecting over 500 police stations, over 18,000 public schools, over 1,800 government hospitals, as well as close to 4,000 government clinics. This will usher in an era of telemedicine, e-health, and these spectrum bands are, the sub 1 gig, the 700 and 800 spectrum bands are very good for wider coverage to reach your outflung areas, whereas the upper bands, 2600 and 3.5, are generally good for speed, capacity. It will help with issues of 5G, if you may.
Dr. Modimoeng, I know you are just, the regulator in this instance, and are just regulating the industry and managing the auction process. Many South African consumers are but wondering, how soon are we going, or should we expect to see these changes on 5G technology, on lower data costs? And that is a question for you still as a regulator. How soon should we expect that the layman on the street will get the benefits from this auction?
Yeah, no, I don't think it will take a longer period beyond for a number of reasons. I think the first reason is that more or less the same spectrum that we are auctioning has been temporarily and provisionally assigned to operators under the COVID lockdown period. And what that has done is that our licensees, the bidders now, went on to acquire the relevant equipment, the relevant radios, to configure their networks accordingly. And as a result, once the auction is done and all the administrative processes are concluded from a licensing point of view, I do not think there will be a time lapse. And in any event, operators are spending, a lot of money in this auction, and I believe it only makes business sense for them to try and derive their return on investment as soon as possible. And for us as a regulator, it has been very difficult for us to make a meaningful intervention on the cost to communicate, more so from a data point of view, when operators are factually spectrum constrained. But post this auction, we will be in a better position to then, hold our licensees to task to say, now that you have enough spectrum, or at least the spectrum holdings have been permanently improved, we expect you to really now assist the consumers, because this spectrum belongs to the people of South Africa, and that is why we insist that whatever spin-offs of, in this, be it the money that will go to the national fiscus, be it the obligations, some of which I have outlined, need to really yield very tangible public interest benefits.
There was another spectrum online auction today. What can you tell us about it?
For now, what I can divulge, because unlike on Tuesday when the entire round was concluded, that's when we were able to mention publicly the figure. But today what I can communicate is that everything went well. All the 6 bidders participated: Vodacom, MTN, Cell C, Telkom, Liquid, as well as Rain. And we are on the right track. I think I can safely say, watch the space. We will be communicating once the auction progresses, and we will communicate the milestones at the opportune moment. But so far, we have nothing that suggests that we should be worried about the outcome of this much anticipated auction.
Dr. Keabetswe Modimoeng, the chairperson of ICASA, thank you very much for your time. I'm very confident that South African consumers will get the benefits of this high-demand radio frequency spectrum that we have been waiting for years.